to talk to you about meditation today and the power behind it. So once we get our mind settled, there is so much beauty in the quietness and stillness. It's as if we become a whole new person. It's as if all of a sudden life makes sense. It's as if all those stories that we would tell ourselves in our head calm down and they go away. And the true us, the true essence of who we are comes out. And that literally happens by being quiet and still. I don't know how to explain it. I know if meditation is a huge thing nowadays, and meditate and quiet your mind and all those things. But quite often my clients and my friends, they said they just don't know how to do it, and it's super difficult. And I can understand. It took me when I first started meditating, it took me about a year maybe to go more than 5 or 10 minutes. And now I just love it. Like I can go up to an hour at a time and just simply check out. And so what I have noticed for myself, I can only speak for myself, is that my sense of well-being has calmed down. My sense of, my sense of who I am has come to a deeper realization. I feel like I love myself more than I ever have. I feel like my body isn't vibrating at such a high pace. All when I was young, and if anyone knew me when I was younger, I was just like, well, not even young, right? Just a few years ago. I just was always thinking and always going and always remodeling and always decorating and always working out and always. And I loved it. I thought that's what I was supposed to do. But really, I think what I was doing was just trying to get rid of that anxiety that was deep down in me. And so about 3.5 years ago, I ventured into meditating and found that for at least when I started out for 5 minutes a day, I felt peace. And I started to go, there's something to this. And then when I got to 10 minutes, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. Like I slowly through meditation feel like I stepped away from all the chaos in life and all the lies that I told myself in my head, that whether it's I'm not good enough, or I'll never measure up, or so-and-so doesn't like me because of this or that, or I had a difficult childhood, or whatever the lies I told myself started to disappear. And I feel like, you know how you hear that they say that you have your true self is deep within? I remember thinking like, I don't even know what that means. I feel like I'm my true self. I feel like I'm just a very active person. I feel like my mind's just busy. I feel like this is just who I am. I'm just a high energy person. And as I started to meditate more and more, and as I started to step out of that busy mind, what they call the Fritta mind in yoga, the monkey mind, and stepped into the calmness, I feel like I have gotten to know my God so much deeper. I have gotten to have this beautiful relationship where I'm not dictating everything, and I'm not telling God like, hey, I want this and this and this and this. It's more, I want you, God, to come through me and allow you to move through me and allow you to come through and help me help others. And it seems the more and more I step away from my mind and into the peace and the presence that is in the here and now, that my God becomes real to me more and more each day. I think it's when you stop and you meditate, you truly come into your divine sense of who you are. Aside from society, aside from the stories we tell ourselves as we grow up, aside from all the traumas that we've had, aside from all the memories of the past that always defines the now, and it shouldn't. Each moment is a new beginning. So when I ventured into meditation, I felt that I had discovered the secret of health and wellness. I want to tell a quick story. So 4.5 years ago, I was fired from a job. People get fired all the time from jobs, but I think for me in particular, I was such a people-pleasing person. I was always just trying to prove what a great worker I was and to prove that I worked on behalf of God and that everything I did was God-centered and it's just going to turn into this wonderful thing. Wherever I went, I felt like I just made things happen, and it wasn't through my own strength. I never claimed anything through my own strength. I felt like it was because I was literally feeling like God led me here. And so most of my life I've lived that way. And when I got fired, it literally pulled the rug out from under me because I was dumbfounded. I was more than devastated. I remember the morning that I found out that I was fired, I just sat in the chair and I told my husband, I said, I have been fired. And I just was so numb. And he said, I'm so sorry. And there had been a bunch of really, really tragic events coming up to this point I was just on my last leg of just stress, like massive stress. And so I remember I got up and I took the dogs and I went walking in the desert, which is right behind our house. And I went walking and I thought, who am I? I mean, if I felt that I had lived my whole life to serve God and to serve the best I could in my job, then who am I to get fired? I mean, how does that represent my God? And I remember thinking, like, I don't even know where to begin. I didn't even know how to take that next breath. I didn't even know. There was so much chaos going on around this whole event that I literally remember telling my husband, I'm like, I don't know when you check into a hospital because you feel like you can't handle the stress, but I was at that point. And it came to the place that I just questioned everything in my life. I all of a sudden, all my childhood traumas were coming up. I guess sometimes they say that about trauma, that it pulls up all the other traumas that you've hid away. But I had traumas from my childhood. My parents divorced early, and my mom married a man, and my mom and my stepdad were both alcoholics early in my life. And I had two stepbrothers and my real sister that lived with my stepbrother. One of them inappropriately would touch me when I was 5 and 6 years old and show me things that no 5 and 6 year olds should see. And I remember we'd move from town to town to town, and my stepdad was always getting fired. And I just always was just zipping up my emotions and shoving them in, zipping them up and shoving them in. And my mom would get drunk, and she was just such a wonderful person, but she had an alcohol problem, and so did my stepdad. And so as a little girl, I learned to push the feelings down, put on a big smile, and just be the person to make everyone happy. So that's kind of how I've lived my life. I kind of took Kristen and I pushed her down, and then I took on this persona of someone who did everything right. Like, everything I did had to be so right. I never drank in college. I never drank in high school. Well, I drank my freshman year, but once I became a Christian through an organization called Young Life, I just kind of zipped myself up. And I walked this path for so long. And I remember I would often feel this deep sadness, but I'd be like, so what? Who cares? That's just who I was, or how I was raised, and it made me strong. And I'm glad I had alcoholic parents, and I'm glad I was molested, and whatever lies I would tell myself, I would just say that would make me stronger. And so and it's not even just that, it's other stuff that came up in my life, like later on in my life, my mom and my stepdad divorced, and my mom was diagnosed bipolar, and that was in itself a super long, very stressful journey. And I feel like my whole life, maybe I just kept attracted it, I don't know, but I kept dealing with trauma. And then I had 2 children, but my third child was born with severe food allergies and just not comfortable and not happy as a baby. And I dove into that trauma again. I'm not a good mom. What did I do? Oh my gosh, he's so sick all the time. I must have had a poor diet when I um, was pregnant. And so my whole life, I just shoved myself down. And so when I got fired, I realized that everything I had built my life on was really about pleasing others. And I don't even know what it would mean to be my true self. Like, I thought I was my true self, and I thought that staying busy was just who I was, and I thought that this frantic pace inside me was just my energy, which, I mean, anyone who knows me, they say I have a lot of energy, but it was more when I was younger. And so through meditation, I have found a place where I can be me, and I can listen to my God, and I can listen without needing to say a word. And so how I meditate is I find a quiet space and I light a candle, because God is the light. And so it's a way for me to symbolize I'm lighting a candle. I get all cozy and I put on some nice music, some just really quiet music. There's different kinds of music you can listen to, like frequency, vibrational music, like on love, or releasing negative emotions. It's all just music at a certain frequency. And so I put on that music, and then I always say a prayer. So every day, I don't go out of my house until I say this prayer. Please, God, surround me with love and light and truth and goodness. And in this space, Jesus, please walk alongside me. Holy Spirit, please come in me. All my guardian angels and guides, thank you so much for guiding and protecting me. I give you permission to step into my life for my highest good and the highest good of those around me. And I can't wait to see what you bring me today. And I say amen. So I put up protection. I ask God for protection, and I ask for my angels and guides to protect me. And then I go into meditation, and I say 3 times, my highest intention is to sit in the seat of the divine in quiet and stillness to hear what he has to say. And I say that 3 times, or sometimes I change it up a little bit, but basically I'm asking God to sit in his presence in quietness and solitude so that I can hear what he has for me. And I feel like since I've been doing meditation, God has become so much more real. It's like I stepped out of all the boxes that I put God in, people in, myself in. Everyone was in boxes, and everyone had to stay in their boxes in order for me to feel in control. And if I was in my box and everyone was in their box, then all was good. And as I went into meditation, I slowly discovered that I don't need to fear about being in a box. Like, if I allow God to do all that he has for me and through me, it's unlimited. And so I want to talk to you also today about so I want to get back onto the meditation thing. So I sit there and I ask God for protection, and then I quiet my mind. So for me, I just close my mind and I put my hands like on my lap and I open my palms up so that I can receive. And I slowly just breathe. And in my head, if you close your eyes, you can see all these little kind of white lights. And I just watch the white lights and I just notice them. And my mind will wander, and then I bring them back to the little tiny white lights. And then I always ask, because our intention is everything, I go, God, please help me to stay still in your presence. Help me to see the light. And so eventually, after years of practice and more time spent, I now get to a place where I'm just like checked out, and I see the light, and I just watch this beautiful light inside my mind. And I don't try to write a story, and I don't try to ask too many things, and I just sit there and I relish in the quietness. And so when I come out of meditation, I feel peace and calm. I feel like Kristen got to step aside for a moment and God got to step in. I feel guided. I feel on the right path. Because when I'm in my head, I don't know about you, but I will tell myself, well, so and so doesn't like me because they looked at me like this, and so looked at me like this, and they don't like me either. And it's because I'm into health and wellness that this person doesn't want to be around me, or it's because I'm into meditation and I do Reiki that this person doesn't like me. And oh my gosh, my head goes round and round and round of all the reasons why people wouldn't like me. And when I meditate, I realize I am exactly where I'm supposed to be. And everyone else is exactly where they're supposed to be as well. We're all on this beautiful journey. We're all on this journey to discover who we are in God and to discover how our souls can grow. Yes, we make mistakes. Yes, we accidentally hurt people. Yes, we disappoint people. Yes, we disappoint ourselves. All that, I think, is part of the human journey. And I don't like that I do that. And I ask for forgiveness, and I ask for clarity, and I ask for guidance. But when it comes down to it, we're all on this beautiful journey. And I often think, is there a right and wrong to things? I mean, yes, there's a right and wrong when it comes to really hurting people and things like that. But is a mistake that I do just horrible, or is a mistake I do a way that I can learn? If I don't see the darkness in my life, can I not see the light? If I don't see how something doesn't serve me or it hurts other people, how can I know what is better for me and for other people? It's like this yin and this yang. And I think so often what they say is you have a shadow side. We all have a shadow side. As righteous as some of us think we are, and I'm not saying that in judgmental, because I think I used to be that person where I just thought, oh my gosh, I do everything with good intentions, and I never want to hurt anyone, and this and that. And I think that the more that we realize that we are right where we're supposed to be, and that this person's journey is going to look different than my journey, than someone else's journey. And when we back away from the judgment and we allow people to truly shine in their faults and in their beauty, and I only like to say faults, but in who they are, their shadow side and their light side, then truly we are coming into a wholeness. And I think that when I started to meditate, I realized I am okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. I don't need to be perfect. I don't need to be all that. I don't need to be someone who just always has the right answer. Maybe sometimes I don't have the right answer. Maybe sometimes I don't know why something happens. And so my challenge to you is to try meditation. Try it for 5 minutes a day. Just set your non-negotiables and see how it goes. Because I think what you're going to discover is that it's not scary. Everything we want is on the other side of fear, remember? It's not too difficult. How do we know where we're going to get until we try? How will you know how life is going to transform until you step out and you try something new? And by quieting my mind, I feel like I've come into a whole new place in my life, and I can't wait to see how God unravels my life. And from here on out, I just want to be a servant, and I just want to help others. So I hope that helps you to just kind of get a better feel for meditation and a little bit of my journey. Thank you. Have a great day.